Um, what is this oligometastatic prostate cancer? Is it prostate cancer with limited disease burden? Is it just a quantitatively different disease, or it is qualitatively different in its biology? Should we treat an oligomets prostate cancer only with systemic therapy, or we should give local therapy also? So there are a lot of difference of opinion, because when you come to the real clinical practice and day to day, there's always been a confusion if there are one or two bone mets in a prostate cancer. Should I be targeting those lesions, or should I be continuing only systemic therapy? So, just to understand how productive it is to give local therapies in an oligometastatic prostate cancer, few slides sets are there which will help us to understand. So, what is this oligometastatic disease? Solitary or few detectable metastatic lesions that are usually confined to a single organ and may be more than one organ. So, not necessarily oligometastatic means it should be confined only to bone, or it should be confined only to lymph nodes, or if there is a liver mets, it becomes an obvious metastatic. That is not an idea. It is basically the number of mets that is more important than the number of organs and number of sites that are involved. So we have to count. So there has been a little bit of controversy whether it is 3 is oligo or 5 is oligo, but there is some clear cut understanding that if it is more than 5, it becomes a frank metastatic disease. But up to 5, we can still consider oligometastatic, and we may offer local therapies both to the prostate and also to the metastatic sites. So, what is the actual definition of a oligometastatic prostate cancer? So, it is generally defined by the presence of 5 or fewer metastatic sites on imaging. It represents a transitional state between localized and widespread metastatic disease, and encompasses a wide spectrum of disease biologies and clinical behaviors. So, so yeah, yeah. So, if you look into the oligometastatic disease, so it is 5 or lesser number of mets that matters than the number of organs that are involved. So it just doesn't represent a difference in quantity, or it is not just a transition from a localized disease, locally advanced disease, to a metastatic disease. If you look into the genetic profile of these oligometastatic patients, they are biologically different than uh, uh, the frank metastatic disease. So it is not just a difference in the quantity, but it is a qualitative difference. So going further, yeah, so we can look into this particular disease where you have a locally advanced presentation where there is capsular breach and there are few lymph nodes that are involved, which these basically are non-regional lymph nodes. Otherwise, they are metastatic. But if you look into the number, there are few. So radio tracer uptake did show a 7th rib metastasis, and it was a biopsy proven. So, should we do PSMA PET in this patient? I think in the present era, if we are really taking it as oligometastatic prostate cancer, so we must consider it as metastatic. We must do a PSMA PET CT so that we can upstage this particular disease in around 10% of patients. So, what is the choice of therapy in this particular patient? So, if we have to choose therapy in this particular patient, uh, So if you look in, so we can use three types of treatment for an oligometastatic disease. So number one is local therapy. Number two is hormonal therapy, that is androgen deprivation therapy, and number three is systemic therapy. So it is basically a three-tier approach. So one is you operate the prostate or you give radical radiotherapy to the prostate. Secondly, you may also give SBRT or radiotherapy to the bony sites. And then thirdly, you also must give systemic therapy plus androgen deprivation therapy. All these become extremely important when you handle oligometastatic disease. So, so it is basically a three-tier approach. Not just we will consider it as a metastatic disease and we will not give systemic therapy. So that is not the way to go. So in an oligometastatic patient, we should be little aggressive and we must target with local therapy. So by means of radical therapy to the prostate with a surgery or radiation. And if there are bony mets, we can give SBRT, or if resectable, we can resect. And we must add androgen deprivation therapy plus systemic therapy. So this three-tier approach is what is required in oligometastatic disease rather than just ADT plus systemic therapy. So, so this is some rationale for metastatic diseases directed therapy. So if you can ablate these oligometastatic sites quite early, so early ablation of metastatic lesions may reduce the risk of skeletal events or other complications from disease progression. So metastatic lesions may have differing molecular phenotype, systemic therapy resistance. So targeting may delay or differ CRPC. So basically, there has been evidence that at least you can delay the development of castration resistant state if you can target these oligometastatic sites with radical therapy. So at least we have some evidence for that. So these are the studies that have included. So you can see the local control. Uh, if if if, uh, if you can give SABR or SBRT for this metastatic disease, so you can see many studies where they have got an excellent local control, 2 year 95%, 100% local control. So 100% local control up to 2 years. So looks like quite an impressive local control you get if you can give SBRT to these metastatic sites. And you can look into the toxicity is not that significant. It's grade 1, 2 is around 9%, and grade 3 is 0%. So it's a non-toxic treatment if you can target these oligometastatic sites with SAB or SBRT. So retrospective study suggests local control is above 90% and the toxicity is less than 10%, and SABR significantly improves prostate specific survival compared to systemic therapy alone. So I think all the statements are true and these are the graphs that show the benefit. So this is basically the comparison between prostate directed radiation therapy is associated with better overall survival than ADT alone. So you give ADT plus radiation versus ADT alone, and you can see the hazard ratio is 0.56. And you can see the right side graph, which is for overall survival, it is also ADT plus radiation versus ADT alone. Even here you can see the propensity match score analysis also showing similar results. So always adding radiotherapy or any sort of local therapy to the prostate in a limited disease burden or oligometastatic disease is always productive in terms of overall survival. So this is the propensity match score analysis for overall survival. You can see that if I can add prostate radiation or local therapy in an oligometastatic disease, you can see that all the subgroups have benefited and there is an impressive hazard ratio in these subgroups. So overall survival relative benefit with radiation therapy is similar for short or long-term survivors. You can see those limited to 1 year, 3 year or more than 5 year survival. You can see the hazard ratios being in range of 0.5 to 0.6. So surgery or high dose radiation therapy is associated with similar overall survival advantage. So whether you deal the prostate gland with either radical surgery or radiation, you can see that there is no difference in overall survival. So this is some evidence in breast cancer where oligometastatic breast cancer can be treated with radical therapy. And there is always a favorable subset of patients in whom oligometastasis is there, and we can deal with them. So this is the difference in survival. If you have 5 METs versus more than 5 METs, there has been a significant improvement in survival. So again, the similar one, it is the number of METs, 5 being the mark, that draws between oligomets and multiple metastasis. So just to conclude that in a prostate cancer patient, we have early disease, the localized disease where it is confined to prostate, where the best treatment is either radical prostatectomy or radical radiotherapy to prostate. And then we have the second subset, which is locally advanced but is non-metastatic. Here we use androgen deprivation therapy for 6 months or 2 to 3 years. Along with that, we usually give radical radiotherapy. And we have another spectrum where it is a frank metastatic disease, where we do not give local therapy, but we usually give androgen deprivation therapy and systemic therapy, and we give local radiotherapy only if there is urinary symptom not responding to ADT. So we have different disease in between them, what we call as oligometastatic disease, and the number is 3 to 5. So it is not just a quantitative difference. It is not the evolution of localized or local regional disease to metastatic disease. They're going to remain oligometastatic for some time before they actually become metastatic. So it is basically a qualitative difference in that if you look into the genetic makeup of these individuals, they have a different genetic makeup, different number of mutations when compared to the frank metastatic disease. So treating these oligometastatic disease only with androgen deprivation therapy and systemic therapy would be suboptimal. So we have some surrogates to identify which are those oligometastatic disease by probably looking into the number of lesions. So there is a controversy whether it is 3 or 5, but somehow if you can draw a line at around 5, if you have number of metastatic lesions around 5, I think the best staging modality in the present day is PSMA PET-CT. With that, if you have only 5 lesions, something like lymph node or bone or even visceral disease may be included. So we must not miss directing prostate directed therapy, and if possible we must also irradiate with SBRT or whatever best local therapy is possible. We must also do a metastasis directed therapy. So by of course androgen deprivation therapy is the backbone, and systemic therapy must be given for these patients. So by doing so, we don't have a great evidence that we add life to the patient, but however there are some retrospective data and some data even against them, but however there are some retrospective data and a more data leaning towards local therapy in patients who have oligometastatic disease. So there has been in colorectal liver mets, we have this concept. If you have a good systemic therapy like liver directed therapy where we have in colorectal liver mets, even in breast cancer we have the concept of oligomets. So even in prostate cancer, where we have better systemic therapies where these patients can live longer, plus oligomets being a different biology as such, so giving local therapy should not be missed in these select subgroup patients. So, to conclude, up to 5 lesions we can include as oligometastatic. So early detection, aggressive treatment of patients with small number of METs is worth testing as an approach to improve long-term survival. All options are reasonable. Best data is for radical prostatectomy, brachytherapy, and EBRT. treatment of METs may offer some benefit, lymph node dissection or EBRT for nodal METs, EBRT for bony METs. So there is some evidence, but however, there are always points of concern regarding absence of class 1 evidence like randomized controlled trials. There are only limited retrospective studies. There has been no objective definition of what is oligometastatic. Am I picking up a frank metastatic disease a little bit early? So am I just picking up a quantitatively different disease, or is it qualitatively different? Or should I watch these over a period of time? I will give ADT and I will watch what is the tempo of the disease and then decide. So, and there is no randomized controlled trial. So these are the drawbacks that we have, but definitely we must, in the present day, consider oligometastatic disease a different spectrum, something much more different than limited disease burden, and we should distinguish these from frank metastatic disease, and we should not miss these patients from local therapies. So with this, I would thank everyone for their patient listening, and I would thank Astra for the opportunity. So thank you, and over to you.